Hello everybody, welcome back to Cooking with Alex. So we already went through the noodle video and the sauce video. So now it's time for the meatballs. Let's go. So for the mise en place for the meatballs here, be awesome. So we got 3 pounds of ground beef, 2 16-ounce of mild Italian sausage, 2 eggs, 2 slices of white bread, and we're going to use half of this yellow onion and some salt and pepper. Okay, let's get working. So first here, I just opened the meat. And we're going to put all the meats in there first. Just for cross-contamination purposes with the eggs and everything else, even though we're going to throw them together. It's always good to be safe. So now we're going to thoroughly mix it so the meat and the Italian mild sausage get perfectly mixed in together with each other. And this part's, again, it's fun. You're working with your hands. You're just watching it, letting it do its thing. And here I'm going to add some bread so it can start absorbing some of the grease and stuff from the meat as it, slowly thaws out. It's still very cold. So I'm just also giving my fingers a break. But yeah, you can take your 2 slices of white bread and throw them in there. You're going to throw your 2 eggs in there, and then you're going to thoroughly mix again. And the bread's also going to absorb a lot of that egg. So it's going to make it really nice. So when you cook it, and of course once you eat it, it's just going to melt in your mouth. So now that everything is going to be thoroughly mixed, we're going to clean off our hands here. And of course we're going to switch our gloves and clean up the area. So now we're going to chop up some onions really quick, some speed run. So once you chop up your onion, your half onion here, we're going to add about a clove and a half to a clove of garlic. I forgot to mention that in the original recipe, but I love to add garlic. And then I'm only going to use half of the onion we chopped just to see how much onion there really is. And you want to make sure they're really fine, because once you make the meatballs, you don't want, big chunks of onion in your meatballs where you're trying to eat, where you just get that strong flavor of onion. So again, we're mixing in that half, and then as I was mixing, I did realize that, there didn't seem to be too much, but it was a perfect amount, because no matter which way I folded it and turned it, there's always an onion somewhere, as you can kind of see there. And so I only used about a half of an onion. But now we're going to add our spices. So in our spices, we're going to add some oregano. And the salt and pepper. So I'm really putting it on there. Again, mostly for flavor and just a good mixture, because there's a lot of meat and the meat is going to absorb a lot of it, especially in the cooking process. You can see it's thoroughly mixed, and now we're going to, again, change our gloves, wash our hands, and clean up and sanitize the area. So, got some clean gloves here before I wash my hands. And again, I'm going to show myself putting on gloves so you guys see that I actually changed my gloves and not just saying, oh, change your gloves, when I don't. So, so now we're going to grab a cooking sheet, whatever. We're going to spray some vegetable oil on there real quick so that it helps the meatballs not stick as they're cooking. And it gives them a beautiful, brown color at the bottom where they cook. You can turn them when they're in the oven as well. But for mine, I just kind of let them sit in the oven. And I just let them cook and do their thing. So here's a cool trick. You take a ice cream scooper and you kind of just drag it along the side of the bowl there. You make perfect meatballs. And don't worry how they look now, because you're going to go back and we're going to hand roll them so they make better shape, more of a ball shape instead of an ice cream shape. You can see I'm just kind of going through here. And now that we got this pan filled, I'm just going to go ahead and hand roll these bad boys. So they make nice little circles, little balls. Hence the meatballs. But I'm going to speed it up here, and we're going to see this is the process. I just want to make sure they're nice and neat. And I don't know how much meat you're going to use. You don't have to use the exact amount. This fed a family of 3. You could definitely feed a family of 4. Easy. And you can see here in this picture that it took about 2 pans. And I just popped those in the oven. Those in the oven, we're getting our water up to a rolling boil. You can see here the meatballs are finished. I temped them. They hit about 171 and 75 at the highest from the smaller ones. But now you can see the water is really boiling, and now is going to be the perfect time to add the pasta to the water. So here's our pasta we made earlier. Gotta just throw them in there. So you could do them in whatever order. I picked this one first because it's the farthest. So I'm gonna throw those in there. And if you want to get your noodles not to stick, once we get done rolling them, you can add a little bit of flour on top of them, and it'll help them stick while they kind of just sit there. But mine luckily didn't stick. They kind of just started falling off of each other once I put them in the water, and they don't take very long to cook. Maybe 10 to 20 seconds, depending on, how much you put in there. But if you want to check the noodles, just take them out, put them on a plate, and cut it. Make sure that center is cooked all the way through. But once they're cooked, you're going to take them out, strain them under cold water, and they're going to be ready to go. And then you can serve yourself a delicious bowl. These are my bowls here. And it was just a delicious. Got some Parmesan cheese on there, and some fresh leaves of basil. Here's me. I'm going to take a bite so you can see that I'm actually going to eat my own food. And go and mix it up here. And let me tell you, this dish was amazing. I surprised myself with it. The noodles were perfect. The squid ink noodles were perfect. They weren't too fishy. They weren't too salty. And honestly, they just tasted like normal noodles. And they're amazing. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoy the recipe. I'll see you next time.